Hey everyone, this is Steve.
This is Joe.
And this is the 40 Ounce Podcast. Here we go.
Woo.
Hey everyone.
Hey guys, I'm Joe, and that's Steve.
Yeah,
I'm pointing
this
to
is
him.
the 40 Ounce Podcast.
Who's
Okay,
not
again.
watching.
All the eyes looking at us.
So what episode like 7?
Yeah, something like that. I think it is 7.
We're becoming an established internet commodity.
Yeah, big number 7. We've hit it.
That's the one. That's when you get syndication.
If you don't drop before you hit 7, on average, you go to like 136.
Just seven things.
7
of all
entries
the
of
internet.
Item. So we're real in for the long haul now, and means a lot of 40s are going to be drunk.
Yeah. So the big thing the positive thing we get about this podcast is like, oh, it's great. It's like hanging out with you guys. And for some reason, that feels like kind of like not a total compliment. It's like, well, hanging out with someone doesn't sound that great. I mean, it's good, but it's not like...
Well, no, hanging out with someone doesn't sound that great, but hanging out with you and I,
right.
It's like a really special circumstance.
The laughs never stop.
Because we don't really like hanging out with people that often.
It's not true.
Except like each other and like a tiny group of folks.
Yeah, not that tiny.
Yeah, I mean it's relatively large, but like compared to the world's population.
Oh, well.
And that's our audience. And they're listening in, and they're like, Steve and Joe never fucking hang out with me.
We get to hang out with the entire world.
Don't you feel that way?
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way sometimes?
I mean, have you been seeing our reach, our imprint?
We had a viewer from, a listener from India the other day.
Did we?
No.
Oh, I was like, I didn't give you how to get into the analytics, which I haven't looked at. I'm sure it's horrible.
I bet they're great. I wonder if we show up on like Google on like within the first 5 pages of any kind of search.
Any search at all.
Like I bet if you type in 40 Ounce Podcast, we might.
Like 18 other 40 Ounce podcasts. I mean, it's a good idea, so it's probably been done.
I don't think so.
No, I don't know.
I don't know, but
it's you should, before doing anything creative, you should Google it.
Yeah, I mean that people,
we didn't,
you do that. Someone was just telling me they had this great idea for like a book, and they Googled like their plot synopsis that they came up with, and they found a book that was exactly the same, except like literally the exact same plot synopsis for their book. That's disappointing.
I had a similar thing when I had my idea for the masturbation technique, the double stranger.
Oh yeah, the Double Strangers, classic.
Right. So, the Stranger, which I know from the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, that's when I was introduced to it.
Okay.
Is when you sit on your hand till it becomes numb.
Right.
And you masturbate, and it's like someone else is doing it.
Right.
The Double Stranger is when you sit on your hand and you sit on your dick.
Sit on your hand and on your dick.
So both go numb. So it just feels like you're in the room while you're watching somebody jack someone else off.
Watching someone really like voyeuristically watching someone jack someone else off.
Right.
Man.
Right.
It's so crazy right now.
So I looked that up. Well, as soon as I thought of it, I looked it up on Google and Urban Dictionary and all that stuff, and it wasn't there. I was like, fuck yeah.
There you go.
But then I Googled it like last year, which is like 4 years after I came up with it. And now it's on there.
You might have been the guy.
I don't think I was. I think it also happened somewhere else.
Well, that's the kind of thing where I know I didn't remember that you were the one who told me about that, or it came from you.
Oh, really?
And Double Stranger in my mind was an established thing. Oh. So I've told people about it like it's this thing.
Well, you could easily have heard it from like somebody I told it who didn't source it.
But that's what I mean. Like, and then I don't source it. And I've probably told it in weird circles before that like are people who don't even know you at all.
Inappropriate situations.
Job interviews. What? So tell me an interesting fact. Well, have you heard of the Double Stranger? I do that all the time.
And kind of in defensive response to finding out that someone had put it online that might not be an original idea, I came up with the Triple Stranger.
Oh no!
Which is when you also sit on your leg. So it's like you're in a room watching somebody jack somebody else off, and there's also a severed leg over there. It's in the corner or something.
It's kind of
it's really weird milieu.
I hope that doesn't influence the masturbation process, because if it does, then you're like into severed legs. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really done any of these things. It's just like,
Yeah, no, me either, Joe.
Anyway, so my point was with the hanging out. It's just like hanging out with us. Is like, well, we kind of want this to be like a comedy podcast, not a hanging out podcast.
Well, but we bring the jokes.
I know, but it's like, I'm supposed to cut back on that too.
Oh, did someone tell you that?
No, you told me that people like try to listen in the morning and they don't want to hear burps all the time.
I've heard that it's hard. It can be tough to listen to in the morning because you don't want to like be waking up and like getting ready for work and there's like constant belching going on in your
really
ear.
Deep, heartfelt.
Yeah, really guttural, like from the depths of the diaphragm.
Right.
It's just really coming up.
Yeah. So I'll hold back on that. But the other, so like we could really just get after it, make it a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Just
nice.
I don't know what makes that different from us hanging out, except that it like being like trying to be funny, but you don't want to like try to be funny.
Right, and I think we run it a little bit more like a radio show than a podcast sometimes.
Well, I think podcast has a lot of similarities in the first place.
No, absolutely. They're like very, very similar, but like the way you, I guess, achieve comedy is a little different because I feel like the radio shows are a little bit more, because they're on every day and people listen to them all the time. It's like it gets a little more informal and it's all about the sort of chit chat and getting the comedy out of that.
Right, and the shitty personalities.
Right. There's some. I was listening to it's 101.1. It's DC's rock station. What I forget what it is. But they have whoever his name is in the morning. It's like an E name, Eric or E, whatever. It's their big morning show, and they have this really funny segment where they try to. Did we ever talk about this before? Where he tries to the guy he gets someone on the phone who thinks that their spouse or significant other is cheating on them, and then he calls that significant other and as a fake flower company. And asks where they'd like, say they won a contest, asks where they'd like the flower sent, and if he doesn't say the person, or like his mom or something.
Then he patches that person
then he patches the other person in and like starts fucking with them.
Right.
So like, he's like, so I heard him do it once, he's talking to this guy, and the guy said some other girl's name other than his girlfriend, and the guy's, and the main guy's like, so tell me about this girl, just so I can, we're going to write a little bit of a card for her, and tell me anything you want written or anything about her, if you want, I'll write the card, and so he's like, says a couple like, weird, like, kind things about her. And then the radio show guy's like, and does she have them big old boobies? And the guy's like, excuse me? He got so mad. And then the girlfriend gets patched. She's like,
so
oh my God!
He like got his mind blown like twice really quickly.
Oh my God.
Like, did that flower guy just ask me about my girlfriend's boobies? And then, why are you on the... Well, that must have been the trip.
Yeah, but I think it's great.
Well, we don't really have the capability of doing that.
No, it's like but they have like the opportunity for more segments, and we have segments. I mean, I like current events because I think that the comedy does come out.
That's true, and it like provides a little bit of structure, and it's like something that you know is going to happen every time. That's good and all that. I just think maybe it wasn't the best idea to like introduce this idea of making it more like, I don't know, more strictly comedy in the middle of the podcast.
Like
maybe I should have like brought this up before we started.
Like to me, directly, or at least save it for the premium content.
Oh right, yeah, the
behind the scenes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, premium content, you pay a lot of money,
lots of money,
and you can hear some of the nitty gritty, the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, some of the really backstage work that goes into.
Right. But I think that we really just have to do is like focus on like boom topic.
Yeah.
Like, try to like squeeze the most out of it and then move on.
Okay, can we talk about racism then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple things on racism. The first of all, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the racist Golden Corral commercial? Golden Corral, for those who don't know, is like a really shitty buffet food chain. Now this commercial, I saw it and I had a couple thoughts. The first thought was, oh my God, that's so racist. My second thought was, is that racist?
So racist.
Yeah, my second thought was, is that racist?
Future I can see. Oh wait, you did. So you second guessed it?
Right. I was like, is that racist? Because then my third thought was, am I racist for thinking that is racist?
Because you got racism on the brain.
Right. Well, but okay. So
if this was a real radio show, we could play the audio of the commercial.
I know, but I'm gonna just do it for you. Okay. So there's a white couple sitting in the front seat of a car and a black couple sitting in the back seat.
Okay.
And they're going out to dinner, and the white couple says, You guys, thank you so much for coming with us. You guys are going to love this seafood place. Except you have to catch the chef on a really good day, and it's kind of expensive. And right after that, the black couple opens their doors in the while the car's driving, jump out, roll to the side of the road, and get out, dust themselves off, and like, thank God we got out of there. And they walk into Golden Corral.
That just sounds like an accurate depiction of race relations to me. Because white people do. I mean, not to stereotype, but like do get this it gets like really like, oh, it's expensive, but it's artisanal, and the chef, he's a bit of a temper. It's like, dude, I just want to eat. Don't introduce me to
okay, so now I was reading like a small article on it, and someone was saying, and he was a black guy, and he was saying that a black couple would never have been the two characters in the front seat
in a commercial.
In that commercial,
right?
Like they would never cast a black couple and a black couple, or a black couple saying the lines for the front seat couple.
Because the white people being like, "Fuck these black people, let's get out of here," would not fly. You couldn't do that. Is that what you mean?
No, he's just saying that black people would never be typecast as the characters that are like, no, it's seafood restaurant. It's a little expensive, and the chef has a temper, and then like have the white people jump out of the back of the car.
Right. Even though I'm sure Golden Corral is heavily populated by the whites.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I've only been to a Golden Corral.
I've never
once,
been there.
It was when I was young, and it scarred me. So
it's got a very white name.
Right. So I don't know, but all I know is that my worry is, am I racist for saying that commercial is racist? Because I'm saying that they're playing off of black stereotypes that black people are cheap and like a lower end restaurant.
Oh yeah, because you're yeah. No, well, no.
I'm just saying that those are the stereotypes. I'm not saying that I believe that.
I think probably the ad agency that made that commercial was probably thinking like, whatever, we want some sort of racial mix in this commercial. We want to represent because we want to appeal to different people. So let's do it whatever way works. And they probably weren't trying to make any sort of racist statement.
I mean, maybe they were because it's publicity, but maybe they weren't. But the other problem with it is that I also thought, and not to the same extent, but the depiction of the white couple was racist.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Right. Yeah. The depiction of the white couple as like this
caricature.
It was literally like and. I guess in my note, it was less racist because you could have those characters could be played by a white couple, and the backseat characters could be played by a white couple.
The backseat characters are the ones with more fucking common sense, down to earth people,
right?
And I guess they just wanted some sort of representation.
But they wouldn't have cast but if they decided we're going to have a white couple and a black couple, they wouldn't have cast the black couple as the people in the front seat.
Right. And you're saying because the guy who wrote the article is saying like you don't have the black people being the leading couple who would say that sort of thing. But right. I think it's also because it would be a bigger firestorm if these white people were like, let's fucking bail on this black couple.
I don't know. I didn't think of that. That's
what I was trying to say.
So that was on my mind, and the racism was on my mind because I'm an actor, so I look at a lot of like casting notices and stuff,
right.
And they're like Caucasian, African American and stuff.
Right.
But apparently, for an Acura commercial, one of the Jerry Seinfeld Acura commercials,
okay.
It just got released that the casting notice for that called for a African American male, like friendly seeming, not too dark. Yeah, really bad. Ooh. Like, and the casting director, and this just came to light. And Acura's like apologized for it, and the casting company's like, we defer to the Acura apology. And it's like,
even though it was totally them,
right? 100%. It was all the casting people who, and someone was like, it was probably a casting intern who wrote it up and didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about how it's sort of unwritten. It's like there is casting based on skin tone.
Right.
All the time.
So just bring everybody in and then pick somebody, and the guy who's dark skinned will be really pissed.
Right, and
but don't get it on paper.
And they might be like having a lawsuit and stuff, but it's like, it's having someone actually write not too dark is.
I have an almost identical story from when I was at Chipotle.
Yeah, hit me with it.
It's like it's the same thing of. It's like, okay, I'm not surprised that you're being racist. I'm surprised that you don't seem to have any like attempt to cover it up at all. So the woman two in front of me was just like